Good evening, and welcome to the Night Owl. And happy Friday, happy July, happy summer. If you're new to the Bird Brain Podcast, this is the other side of the Bird Brain Podcast where the things that go bump in the night, I give them a little bit of room to roam around. But I must warn you, content may contain adult language and scenarios that may not be suitable for all audience members, so listeners' discretion is advised. Now that we got that out of the way, growing up, you remember nighttime TV. There were certain shows that came on late at night that are a little bit too creepy and scary for the daytime. And you would watch them, especially when you weren't supposed to. But sometimes those things would creep into your dreams. And it all felt a little bit too real. And tonight's story is no different. Lock your doors, check your windows, and get comfortable. Because you won't be sleeping tonight. I give you nocturnal activity. Don't leave the TV on. That was the rule growing up in my house. Not necessarily because of raising the energy bill, but because I had horrible nightmares growing up. My folks, they let me watch whatever I wanted, but the rule was, if I watched it, I had to sleep in my own room also. And I couldn't leave the lights on. And it wasn't them punishing me as much as it was them allowing me to understand the choice and consequence and accountability. It was cautionary more than punitive because my mom told me that sometimes what's happening on TV that you'll fall asleep to can show up in your dreams and just emotionally affect you. She's a smart cookie, I'll admit. And she also likes horror movies, so she gets the appeal. I also had sleepwalking episodes, and the folks didn't love that too much since we did have stairs. When it came to horror, I already had a vivid imagination, so I didn't really need help. And growing up, I was constantly thinking of worst case scenarios. It was like a game for me. A constant what if. Okay, maybe that influenced my paranoia a little, but it made me hyper aware. I remember one time my friends and I were in an elevator. And of course, my first thought was, what if we got stuck in here? How'd we get out? Well, that day, it wasn't a fire drill. We got stuck, and I got us unstuck. They swear I jinxed it being who I am, but I call bullshit. I was just prepared for the crazy. But I'll admit, there were times I'd fallen asleep with the TV on. Sometimes it was a cartoon, and the weirdest shit would pop up in my dreams. Sometimes I dreamt that I was eating something from a cartoon, and I'd be pissed when I woke up. It was that damn delicious. And then there'd be other times my dreams were a little more sinister and dark. I'd fallen asleep watching true crime stuff, and that shit ended up in my dreams. Violent stuff. I'd wake up in the middle of the night startled, uncertain, and just freaking out, honestly. I did my best not to leave anything on. But some of the things I watched, I didn't want to meet in the darkness of the night. As an adult, I was in my own place so I could fall asleep with the TV on. Sometimes it wasn't intentional, I'd just be tired. But I learned my lesson, a life lesson. I had some friends come over for a movie night, and we started out with some rom-coms and saved the best for last. You guessed it, horror. I tried to stay up for the marathon, but I caved. Whatever we were watching definitely was in my dream. I guess we had been watching a movie about a break-in and someone sneaking into a person's house in the middle of the night. In the dream, I woke up to an empty place, but I couldn't move. There was no sound beyond the night, and I was trying to pry my eyes open completely, but I couldn't. So I just scanned the room, and as I looked around, I realized I looked past someone standing there watching me. When I looked back, they were moving closer. But it was like that game of red light, green light. Every time I blinked, they got closer. But when I looked at them, they stood completely still. They had this look on their face, big-eyed, darting back and forth as to not wake me. It was like they were playing the game with me. Or they were just toying with me. But as they got closer, I felt a heaviness, and I was having trouble breathing. And their face changed. It was violent. I finally broke free and grabbed the lamp and threw it at him. It nailed him perfectly, and I booked it. And like in any dream when you're running or you're being chased, my feet felt like blocks rolling on as I ran to the neighbor's house. And the entire way I could hear them behind me, giggling, panting. This was definitely a game to them. And everything was so blurry too. And while it was a dream, it felt so fucking real. I finally got to my neighbor's house, and that's when I woke up. The police were in front of me. My neighbor was shaking my shoulders. I walked over in my sleep. They also saw someone leaving my house. That movie wasn't a movie at all. So there you have it. Stay tuned for another story to keep you up at night. And if you are in New Jersey, August 10th, I'll be there speaking. So we get to meet in person. Come with questions, bring your coloring book, and I'll sign it for you. All right? Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Sleep tight.